Good morning everyone. I am Sudha Sarangi, and in the previous lecture I have studied about the ecosystem. Okay. So we have studied? We have studied about the ecosystem. What is ecosystem? So mainly basically it's a community of living organisms, and every living organisms is surrounded by every living organisms, and group of living organisms that live in and interact with each other in a specific environment. Then we have studied about the ecology. Mainly it is the scientific study of interactions of organisms with their physical environment and with each other is called as our ecology. Next we have studied about what is the difference between the ecology and ecosystem. Next we have studied about the types of ecosystem. We have studied that there are three types of ecosystem. First is our artificial, first is our permanent or natural ecosystem. Second is our uh, temporary or natural ecosystem, and third is our artificial or anthropogenic ecosystem. So again, in the permanent ecosystem, it is subdivided into two. First one is our terrestrial ecosystem and aquatic ecosystem. Okay, then again our terrestrial aquatic ecosystem is subdivided into two: freshwater ecosystem and marine ecosystems. So next we are going to study about the structure of ecosystem. What's its structure? And it is very important. Okay. So it is a description of the species of organisms that are present, including information on their life history, populations, and distribution in space. So the structure of ecosystem provides information about the range of climatic conditions that prevail in the area, composition and organization of biological communities and abiotic compounds constitute the structure of an ecosystem. So according to Odom, for the trophic or the food point of view, an ecosystem has the following components. So first is our abiotic components and second is our biotic components. So in abiotic components, it is again subdivided into two. So first one is our climatic and second is our edaphic. Okay. So again climatic abiotic components is again divided into four categories. So first one is our rain, second is our light, third is our wind, and fourth is our temperature. In the same way, edaphic is again subdivided into four. First one is our soil, second is our pH, third is our minerals, and fourth is our topography. So this is the total abiotic components. Basically, it is divided into two. First one is our climatic, and second is our edaphic. Mainly, abiotic means the non-living organisms, the non-living things, or the non-living components in an ecosystem or in this environment. Okay. Next, we are going to switch about biotic environment. Okay, or the biotic component or the biotic structures. So biotic component is further divided into three. First one is our producers, second one is our consumers, and third one is our decomposers. So our producer is again known as autotrophs, which producers are mainly those who can produce their own food. And we know that all the green plants, these they are called as our producers or autotrophs. Okay, because they can produce the food. Second is our consumers or heterotrophs. Consumer means food which consume the food from the producer, and mainly consumer is fully dependent on the producer. And third is our decomposers or septrotrophs. That means which are these are those components which are here to decompose the which are present in the environment to decompose it. Okay, so the bacteria, the fungi, the microbes, these are the decomposers or septrotrophs. So mainly biotic components is divided into three. First one is our producer, second is our consumer, third is our decomposer. Okay. Again, again consumer is divided into four. First one is our primary consumer or herbivores. Second one is our secondary consumer or primary carnivores, and third is our tertiary consumers or large carnivores, and our last one, fourth one is our quaternary consumers or omnivores. So these are very important. Okay, so consumer is again divided into four, but the producer and decomposer are single. Okay, so producers work is to produce the food. Consumers are, they are only to they are here only to consume the food. Okay, and it is fully dependent upon the producers. And next is our decomposers, which are here to decompose it. Okay, so, and these are the very important terms, the autotrophs, heterotrophs, saprotrophs, herbivores, primary carnivores, large carnivores, and omnivores. These are very important, and these are total the biotic components, because these are the living things, or these are the living components, or these are the living organism in our environment. Okay, so mainly in a ecosystem consists of two components. First one is our abiotic component, and second is our biotic component. Okay, next is our biotic structure. So living factors of an environment is known as our biotic structure. So which includes plants, animals, and microorganisms that are present in an ecosystem, and it can be classified as producers, consumers, and decomposers, which are the components of biotic ecosystem. And the living things are made of control and other chemicals with a lot of water added. Living organisms exchange, expel, convert, assemble, disassembles, organize, and otherwise manipulate the constituents of earth, air, and water. Biotic structure includes plants, animals, and microorganisms present in an ecosystem. So we have identified producer, decomposer, and consumers are the basic components of the biotic ecosystem. This can be distinguished on the basis of their source of energy and material. Again, our biotic structure is divided into two. First one is our autotrophic components and heterotrophic components. Okay. So next we are going to study about the autotrophic components. What do you mean by that? This means the self nourishment. Okay. So mainly these are also called as producers because they produce food. What they have done, they combine some light and simple inorganic substances and manufacture a complex material predominates. These are also called producers, which are using chlorophyll by a process called photosynthesis, and the chemical energy produced is only partly used and the rest is stored in plant parts. So mainly the plants use the sunlight and make it a simple inorganic substances, and it produce a complex materials using chlorophyll, that process, in a process which is called as our photosynthesis. And the previously we have studied that the plants produce the food by the photosynthesis process. Okay, and the chemical energy produced is only partly used and the rest is stored in our plant parts. Next is our heterotrophic components. So these are also called as our consumers or other nourishment. That means this utilizes, rearranges, and decomposes the complex material synthesized by the autotrophs. The most intense heterotrophic activity takes place when the organic matter accumulates in the soil and sediments. These are also called as consumers. So they lack chlorophyll and are unable to synthesize their own food. Therefore, they depend on producers for their food, because consumers cannot synthesize. We are the consumers and we cannot synthesize our own food. So mainly we are fully dependent on the producers, and they are the they are the autotrophs, which they can produce their own food by using the sunlight in a process that's called as our uh, photosynthesis. Okay.